What the biggest change in modern tennis isn't a new superstar, but a new rule that could rewrite history for every woman on tour. Because right now, behind the scenes, one idea is shaking the sport at its core. Not rackets, not rankings, not rivalries. Sets. 5 of them. And this isn't just random talk from fans on social media. This conversation has reached Grand Slam boardrooms, tournament directors, top players, and even one of the most influential coaches of the last 2 decades, the man who helped guide Serena Williams through some of the most dominant years of her career. Patrick Mouratoglou has stepped into the debate, and he didn't hesitate. His stance is clear. Women should play 5 sets at Grand Slams. That one sentence might sound simple, but inside tennis, it lands like a thunderclap. For decades, men have played best of 5 at the majors, while women have competed in best of 3. It's been accepted, traditional, almost untouchable. But now, that long-standing structure is under real pressure. The spark this time came from Craig Tiley, the Australian Open tournament director. He revealed that he would like to see women play best of 5 matches from the quarterfinal stage onward in Melbourne, not in qualifying, not in early rounds, but when the stakes are highest and the spotlight is brightest. Immediately, the tennis world split into camps. Some players laughed. Some rolled their eyes. Some leaned forward with interest. Because this isn't just about stamina. It's about equality, scheduling, money, entertainment, and identity. And Mouratoglou went straight to the heart of it. He argued that women absolutely can handle 5 sets physically. No hesitation. No hedging. In his view, the idea that female players aren't capable is outdated. He believes they would prove themselves quickly, and once they did, one of the biggest talking points in tennis would lose its power overnight. That talking point is prize money. For years, critics of equal prize money at Grand Slams have leaned on one argument more than any other. Men work longer on court. They play potentially 5 sets. Women play a maximum of 3. Therefore, the workload isn't the same. Mouratoglou's message is simple. Remove that difference, and you remove that argument. But it goes deeper than paychecks. He also touched on something tournament directors rarely say out loud, but always think about. Night sessions, primetime matches, big stadium tickets that fans pay premium prices for. There's long been quiet concern that a one-sided women's match could end too quickly for a marquee evening slot. A 6-1 scoreline in under an hour isn't ideal when thousands of fans bought tickets expecting a long battle. Mouratoglou's logic? 5 sets change that risk calculation. More time, more drama, more comeback potential, more value for spectators. And that's where this debate gets really interesting, because it's no longer just about fairness. It's about business, broadcasting, and the spectacle of tennis itself. Still, not everyone is convinced. Some players have reacted playfully, almost sarcastically, as if to say, "Are we sure this is what we need?" Others have suggested that if changes are coming, maybe the conversation should also include men playing fewer sets, not women playing more. That flips the entire narrative. Instead of asking women to match the men's format, why not question whether 5 sets is even necessary in modern tennis for anyone? And now we're in dangerous territory. For tradition, Grand Slam tennis is built on endurance, on physical and mental survival. 5-set epics are part of the mythology of the sport. Think of legendary matches that stretched past 4 hours, where players staggered, cramped, and somehow kept swinging. Those matches built reputations, built legacies, built legends. The question is whether women deserve or even need that same canvas for their own legends. History shows they can absolutely produce long, brutal matches already. One of the greatest examples came in 2011 at the Australian Open. Francesca Schiavone and Svetlana Kuznetsova battled for 4 hours and 44 minutes. 3 sets, nearly 5 hours. A final set that ended 16-14. That wasn't a 5-set match. That was already a physical and emotional marathon under the current format. Afterward, Schiavone described every point feeling like match point, the body exhausted but the mind refusing to quit. It was one of the most emotional moments of her life. That match alone challenges the idea that women's tennis lacks endurance drama. But here's the twist most people forget. Schiavone lost her very next match. That's one of the biggest concerns coaches quietly raise about longer formats. Recovery. The tour schedule is already packed. Adding potential extra hours on court could reshape not just matches, but entire tournaments. Would we see more withdrawals, more injuries, more burned-out players by the second week? Or would athletes adapt the way they always have in every era of tennis evolution? Because make no mistake, the sport has changed before. Tie breaks were once controversial. Final set tie breaks were debated fiercely. Coaching rules shifted. Technology entered the picture. Traditions bend when the sport decides the benefits outweigh the discomfort. And that's what we're watching right now. A discomfort phase. Emotionally, this topic hits nerves. Some fans hear 5 sets for women and think, finally, total equality on the biggest stages. Others worry it risks changing a product they already love. There's also a strategic angle that could completely transform how women's tennis looks. Best of 3 rewards fast starts and explosive play. There's less time to recover from a slow opening set. 5 sets would reward pacing, physical conservation, and long-term tactical adjustments. It might favor different body types, different playing styles, different mental strengths. Imagine players known for grinding rallies suddenly gaining an edge in extended formats. Imagine power hitters needing to manage energy instead of swinging full throttle from point 1. It could reshape rankings over time. And then there's legacy. Serena Williams built her legend in best of 3 at majors. So did Steffi Graf. So did Martina Navratilova for most of her slam career. Changing the format now would create 2 statistical eras that aren't directly comparable. But tennis already lives with that. Wooden rackets versus graphite. Fast grass versus slower courts. Equipment, surfaces, and conditions have always shifted. Greatness finds a way to shine regardless. Mouratoglou seems to believe that the next step for women's tennis isn't protection. It's expansion. A bigger physical and narrative stage. Yet here's the real curiosity. If 5 sets are introduced from the quarterfinals onward, the biggest matches would change the most. Finals could become endurance showcases. Rivalries could gain new chapters of momentum swings and psychological battles that simply can't exist in shorter formats. Would that elevate the sport? Or would it push players to physical limits that shorten careers? We don't know yet. And that uncertainty is exactly why this conversation feels so electric. Because it's rare in modern tennis to see a potential rule change that could redefine the identity of the women's game at the highest level. This isn't about a single player. It's about generations to come. Young girls training right now might grow up expecting to play 5-set Grand Slam quarterfinals. Coaches would adjust conditioning programs. Recovery science would evolve. Match preparation would change. The ripple effects would be massive. And through all of this, one truth keeps surfacing. The women themselves have never lacked toughness, never lacked competitiveness, never lacked the ability to produce unforgettable drama. The debate is about format, not capability. So when Mouratoglou says, of course they can do it, he's not just making a physical argument. He's making a statement about belief in the modern female athlete. Still, tennis rarely moves fast. Tradition slows everything down. Stakeholders argue. Trials get proposed. Exhibition experiments get tested. But ideas like this don't just disappear once they reach this level of visibility. They linger. They grow. They resurface at meetings. And one day, what sounded radical starts to sound reasonable. If the Australian Open ever takes a leap, the rest of the Grand Slams would face pressure to respond. Tennis hates imbalance between majors. Consistency is part of the brand. So this could be the beginning of a domino effect. Or it could fade away as another fascinating what if in tennis history. Right now, we're at the crossroads. And the voices shaping this moment include tournament directors, active players, legends, and influential coaches who've seen the game from the inside at the highest level. The real question isn't just can women play 5 sets. It's what happens to tennis if they do. Because once you change the length of the battle, you change the story of the war. And tennis, at its heart, is a storytelling sport. Every match a narrative. Every set a chapter. Every comeback a plot twist. 5 sets would mean longer stories, slower burns, deeper drama. The only thing left is whether the sport is ready to turn that page. So now I want to hear from you. If Grand Slams introduce 5-set matches for women starting in the quarterfinals, would that make the sport more exciting? Or does it risk fixing something that isn't broken? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you love deep dives into the biggest debates, stories, and turning points in the tennis world, this is exactly what Tennis IQ is here for. Tennis IQ isn't just about scores. It's about the moments and decisions that shape the future of the sport we all love. Stick around, because the next tennis revolution might already be in motion.